Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel on Land Matters. It's been a while. Sorry we had taken a break for the politics, and now the politics is over, so now we are back to business. Let us continue our conversation on this thing called land. My name is Abigail Mbagaya Mukoli. I'm a land and land governance expert practicing in Nairobi, Kenya, really. And on today's episode I want to talk about public land. I have an episode where I had talked about public land earlier, but I can see people still have a confusion on this thing called public land. You know, when you have an understanding of how some things work, then it becomes better for you to understand, to interrogate, to analyze, and to ask the right questions. So in today's episode, I want to talk about Kenyatta University. The Kenyatta University land. You know, when that matter came up, I did not say anything because the matter went to court, and the court has actually ruled that Kenyatta University land is public land. And I want to tell people that is very true. If you look at the Constitution, if you look at Article 62 of the Constitution, if you read it very clearly, it says that any land, let me read what it says exactly. Article 62B, land lawfully held, used or occupied by any state organ, except any such land that is occupied by the state organ as lessee under private lease. So any land occupied by a state organ is public land. Kenyatta University is sitting on public land. So that land where Kenyatta University is sitting can be used by the government for any public purpose. So let me put it another way. Any land that is owned by the government can be put to public purpose by the government, can be put to any other use that is for public good by the government. For example, the hospital now that is serving people is not only for the university, it is serving Kenyans. The Kenyatta University hospital, it is serving Kenyans. It is for public good. When they are bringing there the WHO office, it is also still for our public good. It is not for any good for any private individual. So that is still for public purpose, for public good. So any land that the government holds anywhere, any public land that it has anywhere, the government can decide to put it to public purpose for public good. And another thing that maybe you people don't know, the government has a duty to settle the landless, the marginalized, the disadvantaged, you know, the vulnerable. So the government can also still use part of their public land to settle this group of people. It is still a public purpose. They are still doing public good. So any land that the government owns anywhere in the Republic of Kenya can be put to public purpose for public good. And why I normally say, I like to say this, it is important for people to read. You know, I saw people talking about this issue, and I really doubt if people read the law. Because if people read the law, you get an understanding of what it is, where you are. Then you're able to ask the right questions. Then you're able to interrogate, instead of running around carrying out activism on things that are so glaring and so clear in the law. So please, 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 Kenyans, I want to beseech you, let us read the law. Let us read the law on what matters, what the law says about issues of land. And sometimes if you cannot read, why can't you consult? So many Kenyans have gone to school. We have got land experts. We have lawyers, the surveyors, the planners, the land economists. They are there. They know what the land law says. So if you don't have a good understanding, why don't you ask? Why don't you find out instead of embarrassing yourself talking about things that are very clear in the law? So just remember, any land that is held by the government, that any land that is held by a state organ or a state department is public land. And that land can be used by the government for public purpose or for public good, for the benefit of all Kenyans. Remember what I said? Public land is held for all of us Kenyans, is held in trust for us Kenyans by the national government. So people, let us read. Let us be more informed on what the law says land is, on how we can interrogate with land. If we don't read and we don't know, we will always have problems arising. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to me. Please send in your questions. And now we are back, so we'll be talking about more of these episodes from time to time. So thank you and God bless you. Bye.